places that the Spirit Breaker can go for a kill. I think this OD is killable as well if he uses Astral in this lane at any time. So at the very least, even if he's saving his Astral for a long amount of time, the Ember Spirit will have a nicer time mid.
Since then, compLexity finished out their 5-man lineup here with what looks like the Batrider grab for Monkeys, an old Monkeys special. But, coming into this draft, you would think that it was going to be the Abaddon pickup here. But actually, yesterday, now that I remember, Z-Freak played the Batrider. I don't know if you happened to catch that,
No,
CCNC.
I only saw the third game.
But yesterday, compLexity ran a Z-Freak Batrider. They started him out in the mid lane. They actually won this match. It was the one game they won against DC in the series yesterday. It was game 2. And yeah, it was an intriguing draft actually from both sides. That was where Misery brought back the Ricky once again, and we got to see the Wisp. I'm very anxious to see how compLexity are going to make, again, this zoning Batrider work, because it's like his jungle game isn't really what it used to be, and now you don't have the off lane to kind of benefit from farm. Where do you get your Blink Dagger from? But, Z-Freak was making action happen, string together a couple of kills, then managed to farm his way to decently timed Blink Dagger. It's just something, again, I'm going to look to keep my eye on. But MP respond already. They get something that's typically good against the Batrider, also great against the Outworld. Feels like a pretty solid pick overall. They finished their lineup with a Nyx assassin here.
Yeah, it gives them a vision hero versus like these defensive supports is really nice. You can scatter around behind the lines, so you can try and get on top of this Oracle and Abaddon to start the fights. They do have like a ton of heroes that all like really want to jump and blow people up. So if they can like get eyes on the compLexity heroes and like jump behind the lines, just blow people up all over the place, they can definitely take these fights. And compLexity's heroes don't really like do very much damage whenever they're behind. Like Odie, Lone Druid, they can obviously scale very well as the game goes later. Very good at just right-click damage.
Yeah.
Batrider, Abaddon, Oracle, like you can help protect those cores. But if the cores fall behind, then they really just don't have the most damage. They have a lot of spells that enable their cores and let them get auto attacks off. Play these long drawn-out fights. But if they aren't able to do that, if the cores don't have the space, then they don't really have a way to kill heroes.
We'll have to see how things pan out. compLexity looking to have their way of playing extra defensive, maybe stall things so that their cores can evolve into big powerhouses in the later game, while MP possibly looking to ramp things up much sooner than that. We get underway here. It's our lower bracket final matchup, a best of 3. Winner of this is going to be moving on into the final to face DC, who are waiting. And, of course, in the winner of that series is going to qualify for the 1 spot to make it to the DAC LAN to represent America. Very tight matchup here. People on paper would probably put this damn near 50-50, as MP are fighting their way back through a lower bracket run at the moment. Doesn't look like anything too fishy as far as lanes for MP's side. They will be rolling with what looks like Mojo to the off lane at his solo at the moment. SVG will take the mid lane block, and we'll see if he decides to go one way or the other. And for compLexity side, for now, Z-Freak is going to be blocking this mid lane, but we'll see how long he plans on hanging around. The last time they had this lineup, they went with the level 1 kind of gank play, and they used the sticky napalm to really secure and to get the slow and finish off the first blood, but this time he's holding on to the point, so we'll see if he plays it a bit different.
Yeah, Envy actually expecting that, going for the stick level 1, getting one of the slippers, and then ferrying out the second with the bounty run gold. So a little bit of an adjustment to what we typically see from the starting build, but it's actually going to be kind of wasted, the early stick, as the Bat's going to be starting top.
Very interesting here. A change up here from coL as they show off again the unique 4-position meta zoning Z-Freak Batrider here, as they will dual lane it out, and he will force back the Dazzle and be at the assistance of Monkeys, so he cannot get overpowered by this pesky bear. Below, we're having our own bully action as Swindle Melons is dealing with SVG right up in his face. Moo is going to have to put some attention on it. What do you think about the matchup down here in the bottom lane in the 2v2?
I think they're going to have a fine time. I don't think they really have too much kill potential on either side, unless SVG maybe gets some like lucky bashes or Swindle's caught a little bit out of position. But I think the Soldier will just be content like chilling down here and farming. They don't have the greatest ways to pressure him. Once maybe they have like some more levels, they can maybe threaten a kill. But it's kind of difficult, as he can always just roar the Spirit Breaker back unless the Nyx stuns both his bear and the Lone Druid.
A bit early on, but Moo is leading in the CS 7 already, as he nails down most from the bottom lane. Cancel dishing out the bit of harassment here on Envy as both sides are going to be traded, and we're going to be seeing our first charge of the game. SVG heads his way towards the mid lane, then quickly cancels it. So decides to round back the corner. It looks like an express trip to get to the boundary rune, actually. So he'll wait for that and be able to nab it up and take that one away from compLexity side.
Yeah, I think this choice or this decision to put the Abaddon up top with the Batrider is like absolutely massive. You can't just let the Ursa have a free lane versus Abaddon. It'll get too far out of hand too quickly, and we've seen in the past how well Aoi does on this Ursa whenever he is given a good start. You want the, they typically go for like more the traditional like phase boots, HOD, Vlad, just a lot of armor auras on this Abaddon. So you want him to get up to that point where he can just start, whacking down these towers in the off lane, rotate around and start the 5-man going. And if he's, getting level 6 at 10 minutes into the game, then it's not really like the timing they want to be hitting, where the point where this Abaddon can just walk around and take fights. So
yeah,
starting the Batrider up here gonna give him a considerably better start than he would have had.
And everyone's suddenly now a magician because the Batrider out. I mean, by the sake that everyone has a magic wand, now he now picks up one of his own. Rose already has his. We saw that Envy had one too. Everyone's got everything ready just in case the Z-Freak makes an appearance in really any lane now. But he's still holding that extra point as well. Before he favored an early boost into the flame break here. But obviously waiting to see if he needs to favor one or the other. Bottom lane, SVG charging on the Moo is going to get quickly shrugged off with a Savage Roar. And we're seeing still a bit of a stalemate between all lanes here. How about the mid lane matchup? No surprise, it is Cancel starting to lead out ahead here. 15 and 10 denies to Envy's 12 and 2.
Yeah, it's not a pleasant lane for the Ember once the ODE starts getting once he starts getting some more levels. You get more levels in the Essence Sword, and you start hitting Q onto the Ember. There's not too much he can do about it.
I caught the action there in the bottom lane. Swindle, it seems like, was, I don't know if he was too much out of position, but SVG was able to line up a good enough shot, and it allowed MSS to follow it up with his own bit of lockdown, and at that point, you're just eating so much CC that you can't really get away. So Swindles will be your first blood. MP will pick it up, and he'll have to make the quick TP rotation back in the action here. So good head start here for MSS. I wonder if that's going to be enough for SVG to continue to roll around a bit. Meanwhile, top lane, Aoi gets the upper hand on the Monkeys and will finish him off, taking the moment, I'd imagine, while Z-Freak was out of the lane.
Yeah, I think he'd back to pick up the bounty rune, or if you get a ward from the courier, and Monkeys gets a little over aggressive and goes down there. So a nice boost from AY, but coming right back up on the Batrider, continue to just mess with him as 16 CS on the Abaddon versus an Ursa in lane. Definitely pretty happy with how things are going so far, but
don't curse him. Yeah, don't curse him. Here comes the charge now. Suddenly SVG's here to play. The cow finds connection. They're looking to pop the shield. He has another one ready. That one gets popped too. Z-Freak's trying to help out, but he gets dropped, but the Monkeys classic deny is there. And Z-Freak will deny himself up into the neutral creeps. All right, double denies coming out. MP will rotate over for it, but they totally bully everyone out of the lane, and Aoi can get back to it.
Yep, and now with Monkeys did use his TP for that, so just has to walk back to the lane, so they're going to have a little bit of free time up in this lane. And now with them both going down a couple of times, only level 4 and 3 on the Abaddon and Batrider respectively, whereas AUI almost up to level 5 on the Dazzle as well, so having a little bit of a level advantage here. And now with the phase boots on the Ursa, they're going to start having a rough time up at this top lane. It went well early, but now they have some levels, it's going to start to degenerate into what NP want.
Maybe coL can go to the bottom lane and try to find a way to balance the power, if you will. A chase onto MSS here. They'll get the next stack. He's trying to south through it. Goes up to the high ground. There wasn't even a shrine there to begin with. But their coL do get their own response, where you're taking advantage of us in our top lane. They'll at least get something going there in the bottom. And a fight for the 6-minute rune between Envy and Z-Freak. Envy just throws out the chains, and they're both going to be incorrect. The rune was actually top.
Yeah, at the very least for this mid lane, we saw it going in Cancel's favor a little bit early in their lane, but once you get some levels onto the Ember Spirit, get like level 5, 6, you can retreat to the jungle and just farm camps, jump from camp to camp with the remnants, and then take whatever creeps push into the tower. Cancel doing a good job of making sure the lane doesn't shove though, so just last hitting on his tower. Free farming the lane, but MB not going to be too sad about that, as he can just farm all the jungle camps all day, all night, as he can heal with the TP run at any time.
Now, during that moment, we saw, of course, Monkeys pull out yet another classic self-deny. He is the best at doing that. Is that fair to say? I mean, we saw him do it yesterday, too. I think he clutched out like 5 in one game. 5 self-denies. Here he already pulls out 2. Like, he purposely gets the early point and miss coil for these kind of situations, and he somehow always will clutch it out. But good for him. It still is going to be nice for Aoi, though, getting the space in the lane. Yeah, he doesn't get the gratification of finishing off the guy, but nonetheless, they'll get back into work, and it's a nice little head start for MP. It's a very early peak at the net worth. It's only about 500. It's nothing too exciting. Most of complexity's momentum is here in the bottom, I'd imagine, in the hands of Mu and his Lone Druid. Highest in CS and highest in net worth at this moment.
Yeah, having a very good start, and it's what you want to have on the Lone Druid. A hero that isn't particularly amazing from behind, is you can kind of just get run at, and also with some of the damage nerfs, and also needing to get to like that level 15, get to the Maelstrom Mjolnir before he gets to those items, and the level 15 doesn't really have the highest damage ever. But
Now, Mu, when he plays the Lone Druid, though, he will often go for the Radiance buildup, the classic Lone Druid. Do you think that would be ill-advised this time? Something we could possibly see here? I see, he's got the glove for now. He's got a Midas, actually, in his queue. It looks like he might go for the old school build again.
yeah, I think it's a decent Radiance game. Obviously, very good versus the Ursa. They have the Abaddon E to buff up like his pushing power. Although I feel like they may run a little bit low on damage. They may go for sort of like this this Radiance up in front bear build, and have the OD play more of a farming scaling role. We'll have to see what they go for. It could just be a casual Midas and then go into your traditional Lone Druid, but he does take the point in the ultimate early, so it seems like he is going to be going for that Radiance build.
I think anytime he plays this hero, he goes for the Radiance build. I mean, I don't know if he's stubborn or he's he's one of those like, this is how Lone Druid should be played. All right, I'm not going with this 2017 new Millennium shit, but he's been doing this every time. He got a win last time, I remember, but we'll see. Top lane, we catch the back end of it. No deny this time, Monkeys. Aoi will get the upper hand, pops out the ultimate and everything just to help get it done. And now MP will pull themselves ahead 3-1. Bottom lane, looking for more. SVG charging in, hits it right onto Swindlemelons. They followed up with the stun, the Vendetta, and that Oracle is gone. Didn't even have the level 6 for the get out of jail free card. It looks like they will get the response though. We will pull down with the root. Monkeys rotates in too, and they will get the takedown of SVGesus. And now we're at 4-2. Still going pretty sweet for MP, I'd say overall.
Yeah, I think this start is at least decent enough for what they wanted. All their core is getting pretty good farm. I know you're working towards that. But like we talked about with Mu going for this Radiance build, or at least he may be. Cancel is going to be going for the Midas on the OD, so something we've seen some players do SECC, goes for the Midas on the OD almost every game, but a lot of the NA and EU ODs will go for like the no Midas, go for like start Camp Hike first, sometimes even the Atos, so he's going to be going for that Midas, a little bit greedier of a build, and like we talked about, he does scale extremely well this game.
It's just funny because I feel like the Midas buildup, I'll have to hold that thought possibly. Bottom lane is just action on for a bear. They would love to get 300 gold for that one. The Midas buildup on OD feels also like an old school American thing too. I remember seeing a lot of like Columbus. Oh, okay, hold on here. Charging in Envy, looking to get the quick snipe of Z-Freak. Forced to take to the skies. He gets the help with the shield, the stun connection from MSS. They lock him down with the help of the Carapace stun. They'll finally get the finish there. Envy sets up another possible kill. Monkeys looking to retreat. Has no more borrowed time. They'll slash down and get the bigger finish onto Mu. And it will be a favorable trade for NP as they just ambush into the Complexity Woods.
Yep, using that the first Blink reveal, it's a great success. They do bring down Mu. You really want to hit a good timing for that Radiance Midas. You can have a high impact on this hero. But going down there, and he's going to lose his tower, so the places where he can farm are going to be greatly limited as MP are going to get aggressive wards up. Whenever you lose map control early on versus Spirit Breaker versus an Ursa, and Ember Spirit who's had a good start and is going to start just controlling the map, he's not going to have the easiest of times to farm around this map, so
yeah,
he's going to immediately TP up the top and maybe try and pressure this tower so coL can get a little map control of their own going.
Yeah, this feels like some real unfortunate timing for coL. If both Mu, who is just about finishing his Midas, or did he just finish it, whether the case, same with Cancel. And a lot of people say Midas is at its worst right after you get it. So have a point here where MP are hitting a power peak with the blink coming out on the Ursa. You know, taking advantage of a point when Z-Freak doesn't have a blink dagger yet. He's trying to farm it and could be delayed even further here if he's picked off. MSS is looking to go in for the kill. Owie has jumped in, hit with the prison, but MSS is still on the prowl, gets the connection, gets the takedown, turns back with a stun, and they'll also get the finish onto cancel. These guys might have just gotten their Midases, but the farm that's going to be coming as a follow-up is going to feel pretty damn limited, as they are going to be losing a lot of casualties, it looks like, in these upcoming skirmishes. Monkeys to be next. Pops out the borrowed time, is going to be able to fend off the trouble. Another follow-up route here onto Envy. Moo is just watching his bear from the high ground. But it is going to get MP off their case and back into the lanes.
Yeah, but Lunger did TP up here. I think the Abaddon did as well. So they sort of have a few heroes stranded up here. Z-Freak will go down to bottom and pick up this farm that's getting pushed into the tower. But yeah, with the OD going down right after picking up his Midas, is going to scale a little bit slower, but still a hero that does farm very quickly and also benefits from the attack speed. So even though Midas is typically considered an item that doesn't, that makes you considerably worse at fighting, is a hero that can use the attack speed, but Z-Freak goes down.
Yeah, poor Z-Freak, man. He just put together another, couple hundred gold to get himself up to 800 or so. Gets brought down again. Reset. And, the dreams of the Blink Dagger are going to be put on hold once again. Anywhere he goes, it looks like MP are ready to stalk and take advantage of, as they are swarming through here. Moo tries to head back towards the top lane, and, we have MSS prowling around. Rose shows himself in the lane, but, it's always kind of fishy to see a Dazzle alone. So it's very concerning here for compLexity at this moment. They just need to find a way to stall out and find farm, and I don't know. They're at the point where they just can't take a fight, so it's just a very awkward position.
Yeah, Cancel actually going for the 10 movement speed over the 250 mana talent as well, so you can see how intent they are on, just this kiting, staying out of range of NPs, just sort of run at you heroes. Ember, Nyx, Ursa, Spirit Breaker, they all just want to get up in your face, so a little surprising. It's actually the first time I've seen anyone take the movement speed over the mana, but is at least up to 120 or 1200 mana, so has enough for the auto cast on the level 2 Arcane Orb, which is what he has skilled up, so we'll be able to farm without having any worry of getting his mana run out now.
Now, obviously, a good opportune time for MP to move in and go for the Roche, and it's going to get taken down there just between Owie and SVG. compLexity have been pushing out through this top lane, but trouble could be approaching soon. MSS begins to stalk Monkeys here a bit. Hiding under that Vendetta. Envy nearby, but doesn't want to get too close. Sentry is in lane. And they'll fend off. Back at mid lane. Possible move here for Owie. He gets blasted pretty dang hard from the combo coming out from Melons. They hit him with a prison. They're waiting the time to flame break. They bump him back. Carapace comes down from MSS, though, and locks him in their spot. And the turnaround will come out. Cancel's going to get hit with a, false promise here, but he eats a lot of damage. Once he comes out, he'll get killed. And it's going to be a 2-0 trade, another one for MP as they pull ahead 11-3. SVG will line up the shot, gets the charge, the stun is there. Borrow time is going to be committed, and they will probably walk him home. No, he turns back. He's like, I'll hide under the tower. There's nowhere to run, Monkeys. You're dead. He goes down, and Owie's on a mega kill streak. NP looking pretty dang good for game number 1. And compLexity, they're trying to find their way to get into farm. They're just nowhere near the potential they need to be at. Moo has slated to get a Radiance, but he's about to die. Gets jumped again. SVG rolls up there, hits him with a bash. There's a couple of stuns. He gets the roar off, but he's limping. He's running. Can he make it away? Oh, he'll actually make it.
His bear may kill him, actually.
Oh. Okay, a jump in from Z-Freak. Gets the snag onto Owie, pulls him back. They'll manage to burst down the Aegis. Rose, though, will casually bop him a few times to go for the finish onto Z-Freak. Jumping forward now, Owie with his second life. Gets the quick takedown of Melons. And MP pull ahead even further. It's easy as pie as it's 3-14.
Yeah, and this is sort of one of the issues that people have, found with this Oracle hero is that, it's really nice whenever they have just, 1 or 2 big disables and you purge it off and then you take the fight from there because, they have no more stuns. You can just sort of kite them around. But whenever they have 15 stuns, purging 1 sort of loses its significance. And so the ult ends up just being a way of, the OD can be a couple more attacks off, but it's kind of just delaying the inevitable at this point whenever you can't really turn the fight around whenever you drop that ult.
It's at the point where it feels like anytime complexity show themselves in the lane, like they're just going to be due for an ass beating soon enough. Already monkeys head towards the top. There's a mark out for them. Doesn't look like any advancement is going to be made here from MP. They're actually going to take the moment to get back and get to their grind of farm. You know, Aui has been putting in the work as he's going to be going for the classic Aui Ursa build up here. It looks like a Deso is going to be next. Helps him siege at the buildings a bit. Seems like whenever they go for these Ursa lineups, they always are lacking strong tower hitters. So Aui, it's always just convenient for Aui to kind of get the Deso.
Yeah, there's also only just a couple of, you know, mids that really are tower hitters. There's like TA and SF. Neither of those like traditional NB heroes, at least heroes they pick up for him. And so, you know, you want your safe laner to be your building hitter, and then, you know, it's an Ursa, so obviously not a natural building hitter. The Deso also just pairs well with the Midas Armor from the Dazzle. Very good versus the Ursa and the OD. Heroes that don't like buying armor items at all until the game goes considerably later, until they get like the AC and the Shivas, but that's 35 minutes plus, the way this game is looking, so gonna be putting in some work until they have those armor items.
Bottom tower is under attack.
Dude, Light of Heaven always hits that shrine thing. Stop it. He hits it like every time. Like every time this guy's casting, he always hits that shrine. It just bugs me. All right, anyways, MSS lurking, waiting mid lane. Little does he know, he's just parked under a ward, and they'll finally stop playing Possum and look to strike here. Can they get the kill between the three? He pops the Carapace. It's going to stun them all, but as he weasels his way out through the other side, he will miss connection with his stun. Meanwhile, they're able to get the jump onto Z-Freak and finish him off. I heard SVG leading in with another strike, but we're going to keep action over here. MV moving in for Swindles. He tries to save himself, but here comes the charge. A follow-up play should earn them the right. Cancel will try to save him with the prison, but now finds himself in a bit of trouble. Forces out, but Aui's easily able to chase and get the secured finish. Cancel's going to be out of this one. 45 seconds without a buyback. MP still need to just even go for tier 2s. They still have a tier 1 in the top lane to take down. They just know that, you know, this is exactly what they had set out to do with this draft. They knew that this was going to be a big swell for them, and they're taking full advantage of everything they have, you know, worked for through the laning stage.
Yep. Moo is desperately farming towards that Radiance, has the Relic now, so we'll have it reasonably soon, and maybe they can look to take some fights off of that, but you can see the net worth, the cores are pretty even as it is, you know, maybe a little bit NP favored, but if you look at the Oracle compared to, say, the Dazzle, it's a massive net worth difference. Already a Solar Crust up on Rose, and Odie and the Bear, not heroes. No, I guess the Bear's not a hero, but not units that really ever like to buy MKBs or anything that lets you hit through that evasion, so the Solar Crest is going to have a pretty massive impact at mitigating this OD's damage.
Maybe complexity now feeling a bit pressured here. They smoke to head out and maybe look for a hopeful opening here. They had possibly just gandered at the crossing there of NP. They frantically ping near their shrine, but they'll take their business up. It looks like this is going to be a smoke movement to maybe get some aggressive wards down. Swindles holds a couple here. Yeah, he drops some down now, hoping to get some use out of those in the future. Soon enough, though, they may need to respond to the bottom lane, but they do see an opening possibly for Rose here at the top, but the rotations are going to be coming out. MP want to defend their tier 1. It would look like below. Envy looking to lead in early. Looks like he's trying to get the jump on the cancel here. He's been surrounded. The shield's out to help him. SVG looking to roll through, get the connection onto Swindle so he can't save him with the ulti. But he's going to be able to survive, just barely. Z-Freak helps him out, connects with the lasso, holding down SVG in his place. Cancel returns into the fight, will help get the finish onto SVG. Swindle saves himself. Aui barely holding on, trying to run the back end, gets the grave right there at the end, and we'll be able to walk away. The chase continues here, though, as the rest of MP are going to be able to clean out the rest of coL. They have to go on full retreat mode, and they will do so. They lose
That
2.
was insanely close.
Yeah.
Yeah, he popped his ult at like, just like, you know, 10, 20 HP and then gets healed up, graved. They do end up getting the OD kill, but that's sort of a sign for, you know, what complexity's draft can do if they get these long drawn out fights, if they can sort of delay the initiations. Envy got several slight chains off of the Ursa, coming in late to the fight, I think was low, pushing him one of the waves, so saw him almost go down at this. OD can start to build up those stacks, can hit very, very hard.
We'll have to see. I mean, I gotta say, MP are definitely taking a lot of fights. They're winning all these exchanges. Their objective follow-up, though, is a bit slow. I mean, we still have this Tier 1 in the top lane. They have Tier 2s to get to. I'm still looking at a lot of time in this game left for coL to continue farming and to get Moo a bit bigger, to get Cancel a bit bigger. And I would start, sweating just a little bit here if you're MP. Like, how do you resolve that, though, if you're like them? Like, how do they kind of move forward with the process of this game?
I mean, they just have to continue taking these fights, continue killing heroes, because that's really what their draft is good at. They can scale quite well later on if they have, a reasonable amount of items. Ember and Ursa definitely not pick off potential to scoff at, and they just have so many ways to start the fight. Whereas compLexity, they really don't have fight starters. They can only wait for NP to jump them and then react to it and draw the fights out, stop them from blowing an initial hero up. So NP, they sort of always have the ball in their court to start these fights, to get the jumps and try and take the fights. As Moo almost kills NP bottom with the Radiance burn, but let's get the tower and get out.
Top lane, MSS has walked through and towards a sentry, and they try to catch him, and they pop out the dust, and it looks like they spotted him. He comes out through the Vendetta, and compLexity will make him pay. Now this is their top lane. And they're going to continue their parade, and it's going to be on MP to defend it here. They are getting a bit of split push pressure here from Owie coming through this bottom lane. And he is not someone you want to sleep on if he's able to get inside the base. We've seen him in a previous game able to rat his way through a set of racks. But coL are looking to get the finish on the top tier 2, and it looks like they will be able to do so here. Moo, obviously with Radiance in hand, looks to be going for an AC next. Already sports a good chunk of change. And by the time we're getting to this point, the Roche is up now. MP are obviously going to want it. They have a great Roche team, but I think compLexity would do pretty fair in taking a fight near this pit if one was to break out.
Yeah, they also kill Roshan at a pretty decent clip themselves.
Yeah.
The Lone Druid does a fair amount of damage to the Roshan. They have the Abaddon, Curse of Avernus to speed it up. And be cutting waves here, so trying to keep the map control, keep these lanes pushed in, so compLexity has a hard time moving around, as they really want this BKB on AUI before they take this Roche fight, as he was farming it up there, had just completed it. And now with the lanes pushed in, you could probably expect to see NP either smoke up towards this Roche area or migrate there, and you can see compLexity playing around it as well. So both teams knowing this Roshan is sort of a linchpin of how this game is going to go. NP really want this, like you said.
And they smoke
this sort of a running U lineup.
Yeah. Envy's starting to build into what looks like a Battle Fury. At least he has one set in queue, a bit of the old school Ember now. I don't know, maybe recognizing that they're going to have to bring some late game damage. And leading in with some early cleave, maybe just to get the faster flash farm or split push those lanes even further and faster. Wherever the case may be, the adjustments are being made from MP as they recognize and respect compLexity's lineup as it slowly begins to evolve from the early and the mid game. Could become a bit of a problem as the game does progress and all of their members begin to farm up some new items that could potentially kite around Owie's Ursa and even outmuscle what could have been like a, the magic damage kind of Ember Spirit.
Yeah, playing the burst Ember versus like the Oracle and the Abaddon can get a little weird. OD also probably gonna buy a BKB at some point later in this game. And then you just sort of have this time frame where, you're all about bursting one individual hero, but they have so many ways to save people between the Astral and the Oracle and the Abaddon that you don't really want to, throw a triple remnant down and then they BKB or something, it does no damage, and then you have no damage left in the fight. So it's going to give him more drawn out damage with the, the constantly Battle Fury cleaving, get out a gazillion slights, and, start realizing that we can't do just this all in, because if, they ever save the hero, then the fight will turn super grim for us. So sort of not putting all their eggs into this, we're gonna kill one hero and then take the fight from their basket.
Still both teams coasting around this Roche pit, and it's going to be coL who popped the smoke and looked to head right up into NP territory here. Ascending up through the staircase, MSS is close by. It will pop the smoke first. They begin to head that direction, but he's already blinked away. Oh, but he didn't make it all the way out. Pops the Carapace right as the jumping comes out. Owie looks to make his pounce, and the Bat Rider's going to be gone. And now it's going to be MP moving in to hope to take a big fight here. Cancel has sidestepped a bit as Envy looks to scurry back the back lines. SVG's going to be forced out up north and away from trouble as Envy will chain the rest of them down for MSS to line up a nice stun. Now the good Savage Roar comes out from Moo, forces the rest of MP back. Triple Remnant right back in from Envy, trying to re-engage. Cancel gets a shield and forces Envy back. Now Moo out from the prison is going to be finished off with a Vendetta there. Cancel trying to retreat also will go down. It looks like MP will be able to take the favorable fight. coL led into this one with a good smoke movement. Couldn't quite get the jump onto MSS, and it was MSS and his Carapace that kind of led into a good opening of a fight for MP, and now they're going to get rewarded with the Roche takedown.
Yeah, they just never really let complexity hit anyone. You can see the OD was, had the Astral stealth, forced Steph away, and then the Ember went in a little bit, changed him up, but then got glimmered, walking away. The OD just never really had time to put any damage in. As NP, they have so much initiation, so much just jump in, kill a hero, and so many stuns that they're just, even though complexity's draft is designed to, save heroes and take these long drawn out fights, let the OD get some stacks off. Whenever you're constantly jumping in and out with all these disables, he never really has time to get any hits off, even though these fights are lasting for long periods of time.
Yeah, definitely a lot of survivability for both sides now. It's just it's like a lot of different people getting in the face of complexity, whereas complexity have a lot of like more defensive spells. You'll have like an SVG charging in your face, which is like very disorienting. The bear jumping in your face, very disorienting. Getting hit with a Carapace suddenly from a spell you casted just moments ago on another hero. It's very discombobulating for complexity, while MP are just kind of struggling with getting finishes on complexity while they just have nice defensive spells. MP take a good fight. It's good. It kind of reassures their dominant position in this game, at least for their own confidence, as they now sport a 15K net worth advantage, the highest one in this game so far. We're still not out yet for complexity. They have their side of the map.
Was Z-Freak going down at the beginning of that fight as well? They lost really their only control. So was sort of like the perfect scenario for NP. I think they had a ward down during that fight as well, so they knew where all the complexity heroes are. Were playing around it really well.
Trying to go for the finish on the bear, and they'll get it. That's one bear down. MP now use that. Move forward. Time to get this tier 2 finished. Up top lane, look at this. Envy's on the chase from Moo. Gets him down with the chains. It's going to force out the Savage Roar and a TP. He's gone. No rest here for coL. No move into a side lane to try to split pressure. MP get back to the mid lane tier 1. They're going to leave Envy up to the top lane to kind of bring back the equilibrium. But MP are getting closer and closer into high ground sieging territory. And what do you think about their capabilities as a team to be able to breach in the high ground? I mean, I'm looking at their draft, and I would be, a little suspect. They might need a fight going into it.
Yeah, as far as just hitting the high ground goes, never doesn't really work that well versus like a Bat Rider versus an OD who can just Hurricane Pike you back and steal some int from the Ursus. So probably either going to be looking to jump into the base and the local hero, which also can be risky because you're versus an Oracle, you're versus an Abaddon. So probably just going to be controlling this map, and if complexity chooses to, this game definitely can go late. As like we said, NP not with the greatest high ground breaching heroes, and complexity also with heroes that aren't too sad if the game does go a little bit longer than usual.
MP now congregate all the way up to the top lane. They'll get the finish on the final tier 2 tower, but of course you still got to get inside the base and get the tier 3 broken down before you can take the shrine. I don't know if Rose was trying to head that way to take it. I'm sure he knows better, but they head up and around the corner, and we'll head out the other direction, it would appear. There is more of a later game assurance policy as Envy's build continues to come. The Battle Fury's already done, and somehow he's already been able to string together the Crystalist, so nice little throwback here. This Ember's going to be dealing serious damage in these fights now. Swindle's potentially at risk, getting charged out, but looks like he is able to make it to the safety of his team indoors. As MP continue to just kind of wait outside. Oh, they didn't get the finish on the mid tier 2 yet. Now they will. All right, there we go. All tier 2 down. Now down. Now coL is suffocating.
It seems like both teams didn't get the memo that it was Sunday. I thought it was Throwback Thursday between the Lone Druid going the Radiance, and now Envy going for the, sort of a hybrid build, going for that Battle Fury and crit after the Veil, which is just sort of a necessity item on that hero now, because he does just do so much magic damage. A little bit of a blast from the past.
Yeah.
Rose has such an insane amount of farm, actually. 10k net worth
Yeah,
on this
Yules
Dazzle.
and Glimmer and Solar Crest and an Aether Lens on a Dazzle. Okay, mid lane charging in. Owie. Oh man, insta snipe takedown and cancel. He does have a buyback, but the rest of his team might not have the same, and they could be in a serious amount of trouble here. It looks like Swindles is going to be able to creep away. On the other side, though, Monkey's a bit out of position. Zefric was able to TP out, but I don't think he's going to be so lucky. He just gets slashed right there and finished off. He does have a buyback himself. MSS deep down this mid lane. Going to get jumped on and taken advantage of. A bit far from his home. MP are going to be down a Beetle if they want to try to continue their push.
Yeah, he's trying to, I think, take down the Oracle inside the base, but they had a dust and doesn't end up going down. Got kited a little bit, but with the OD down, it's really their best hero for defending these pushes, just piking the Ursa back and then walloping him a few times, forcing him to back up, and then by that time, the Sarky pikes back up again, and they can just do it all over again. But yeah, they do at the very least get that fortification out, and they're going to continue to just farm up these lanes. You can see all of the NP's heroes just sort of sliding up to the top of the net worth charts as Monkeys, after getting that Vlad's, really hasn't progressed his items that much really at all.
Yeah.
And unless you're buffing up your cores and you're playing this sort of 5-man style where they don't really have that much damage to bring your heroes down, but NP has so much damage, it's really easy for them to bring heroes down. It just, you sort of start to lose the impact of that Abaddon that you see in a lot of these games where you're just sort of running people over.
And he didn't have any sort of, I guess, relevant farm at the time to move into any sort of like Midas build to try to secure more for late game. Whereas we see that like on the other side with someone like SVG, who's soon going to be overtaking Monkeys in net worth, I'd imagine. You know, we have to see how Monkeys is going to have to deal with the situation where the potential of his hero might be at a bit of a plateau here, aside from just bailing someone out from like a stun nearby. Now compLexity. I don't want to say this is a desperate smoke, but they're looking to definitely get some momentum. Here they come through the top lane. Do have a couple of wards in hand to at least make it worth their time if they do happen to come up short, because the only one nearby is Envy here. And I imagine he may not get caught. As he finishes out his stack, he'll already head back inside the base. The rest of his team all the way down here in the bottom lane, adding pressure there. coL make their train all the way through the MP side, will drop their one ward, and then that will be the end of their business.
Yeah, these smokes outs like to the other side of the map like that. Obviously, you're looking for a kill, but you're not too sad if you don't get one. As you know, you sort of like split the map a little bit. You take this you know, this sort of top triangle, and they take the bottom one.
Yeah.
Whereas you were just trapped in your base before, so at least they can get some deep wards in, sort of see where NP is headed, so that way they can farm up this jungle. And it takes like some more of their side of the map, so maybe they're missing one lane, but at least they're getting this entire jungle, and they're sort of poised to get a pick on EE if he comes up with this top line a little over aggressive, or you know, whatever. Even though it is a little bit obvious where they are in the map, as their bottom line and mid are quite pushed in, just a bear sitting there pushing out with the Radiance.
Yeah, MP are like, we're good. We don't need to go to that top lane just yet. We'll wait for the lane to get pushed in and deal with it at that point. But they'll move the rest of their way through the bottom. MSS showing off what looks like a new Agnem Scepter form. I don't know if it's very new or not, but he's got the access to the burrow now, which helps a lot in the case where if the game gets to it, and it's going to be compLexity looking to do some high ground sieging. MSS already has a good tool to work with there. But it's MP now smoked up, coasting right by the Roche pit as the timer does get a bit closer. They're looking to see if they can get a catch on compLexity members rolling out, but they have been camping inside this MP woods for how long now? They have like set up a fire and marshmallows and are just singing campfire songs. And we'll find SVG as he runs back though. A blink in, a carapace to stun and hold him in a spot. Owie finds the opening for Cancel, looks to go for the finish. Cancel slides himself towards Rose and they'll get the job done there. Cancel out of this fight. Envy gets the lock between both of them. They look to take Moo out of this. Melon tries to help him out from the high ground here, but there's only so much he can do. The finish is there. Both Moo and Cancel are gone. The rest of the supports are just, oh, okay. Swindle just, yeah, like chopped in the neck. One hit KO, it looked like. 7-30, MP, here they come. Can't compLexity do anything about it. One buyback and it's on Cancel.
Yeah, like we said, they kind of have armor issues on compLexity. Really, you know, they have the AC on the Lone Druid Bear, but other than that, no real armor at all. 5 and 6 on most of their heroes, and they just kind of get chunked down once the level 3 weave starts to have some impact.
Here they come, using that Deso. Chopping away, the tier 3 is gone for. That means access to being able to finish out those shrines is available to him. If MP do need to backpedal, there's more gold going to be available. And poor Z-Freak here, one more chop. That's the finish. That's the gem of our lower bracket final is going to be going to Team NP. Somewhat convincingly, I'd have to say. It really looks convincing if you look at the score, 32-7. But I would say it was a little bit closer than that. There was some hopes for compLexity, but overall, great for MP.
Yeah, I would like to point out that Rose had more net worth than the OD.
Ooh.
He was actually so farmed, even picking up bots there at the end of the game. So that's what happens whenever you have so much map control. When you pick like these pick-off-oriented heroes like the Nyx and the Spirit Breaker, you have this more farm-oriented support, and it gives him some more space on the map. He's a hero that can shove lanes very, very quickly, and scales pretty well with items. Is getting the Glimmer Cape as well, Aether Lens, and the Yule. So like more kiting potential. Letting them continue to lock down the compLexity heroes is just not letting them get these attacks in and play the fights they wanted to. NP not just getting wailed on, once if they whiff an initiation, but instead just going in and out over and over again and playing their draft like masterfully.
Wonderful first draft here from MP, recognizing, and we already saw what they need to do in the game, and they do it. compLexity are going to have to try to shake that one off. They've done it before, though, in the previous series yesterday, dropping game 1 and coming back. Let's see if they could do it the same. We'll cut to a break. When we return, it's going to be going into Game 2 of our lower bracket final here for the DAC 2017 American Qualifier. compLexity versus Team MP. I'm coL Guy, that's CCNC, and we'll be back soon.